Hey guys, James here with Waterford Business Solutions, and we're almost already at the end of October, which means we finished out the third quarter. And one of the things that we like to do, being that we work with so many clients in the trades, with HVAC, plumbing, electrical, cleaning, landscaping, general construction, everything like that, we like to kind of take a look back, take a step back, and see what happened over the past quarter. So this week we wanted to do our third quarter recap. We're going to go over kind of what we've seen across the board there in the third quarter, and then also go into what we're going to see going on in the fourth quarter here. So go ahead, jump in with us, and join us now for that. Before we hop in there, I do want to go ahead and just take a quick moment to say if you want videos like this, every single week on Monday we put videos out to help clients understand their businesses, understand their KPIs, understand their performance, understand their financials. I invite you to go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel here. Go ahead and get us that notification bell icon because you'll be notified every morning when we send out videos like this, and that way you can stay up on top of everything there. Now, as we look at the past quarter, third quarter overall was pretty good for a lot of HVAC just because July being one of the hotter months, they had really good Julys. We saw great sales. Generally, most companies are way above where their sales were in July the prior year. However, we did see a fairly early turn off with HVAC where August was fairly not bad, not great, just very in the middle, very adequate for most clients because of how quickly everything just settled down there. We didn't see nearly the same level of heat or any type of service calls going on with HVAC there. And September honestly was really far spaced out. Some we saw doing a really good job there, others we saw doing a really bad job. There was really no in between on September. So September was really kind of a big wild card for us. Overall, I would say that this year's Q3 was better than what we saw in 2024, mainly because of what we saw in July. But beyond that, I'm not going to say that it's a massive difference there. Going into the materials and the labor, we did see a very high labor for all clients, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, any clients there, because August, September were extra pay period months. So a lot of those months being generally not quite as good for HVAC. We saw really high labor there because if you're paying bi-weekly, most people ended up with a third payroll there. If you're paying weekly, most people ended up with a fifth payroll in August or September. So just a lot of extra payroll there. In materials also, we've seen a pretty high material level still, material expense, just because clients are seeing lower sales, but the materials just continue to go up and up and up. Even though we saw some big decreases for a lot of clients in August and September on their sales, materials stuck fairly level-headed there as we went through. Now, some of that is going to be from some clients not tracking their AP properly, but a lot of it is just going to be year over year, materials are still markedly more expensive than what we've seen in prior years. Getting into the plumbing and electrical side, I'm going to kind of group those two together again. We did see overall July, just like we kind of saw in Q2, because HVAC was so good, we saw fairly low results for July with plumbing and electrical. We did start to see a bit of a kickback or rebound in August because obviously HVAC started going down, started seeing it come back up. In September, I've seen some really good results for a lot of the plumbing and electrical. So we are starting to see kind of that same situation we saw at the beginning of the year where plumbing and electrical did really good when HVAC wasn't busy, but vice versa, when HVAC is busy, plumbing and electrical aren't doing nearly as well. So we kind of saw that same thing. But the labor, the materials, everything like that we talked about with the HVAC side really is staying very true. going into our cleaning, exterior cleaning, interior cleaning, landscaping, pest control, anything like that, we are actually seeing fairly steady revenue streams. A lot are kind of seeing some slow increases back up. We had seen some prior year decreases and everything. So we are starting to see some of those increases again, which is really good to see. And I'm happy to see that for clients there. It's not anything fast. It's not anything that is a rocket ship off or anything like that, like we kind of saw with COVID, where everyone was home and they're like, wow, I really need to get my house clean. But we are starting to see these exterior, interior cleaning companies, junk removal, all of that, start to see some slow increases kind of coming across the board here. So definitely nice, because since those are more luxury items, that's not something everyone's going to want to spend money on. So the fact that we're seeing that come back through is really encouraging to us there. So definitely happy to see that transition starting to happen for us. On the other side with general contractors, we have started to see a few more bids coming in, a few more people looking to do some major renovations or doing some whole house builds. So we're starting to see that warm up too. I think a lot of the fears that we've had over the past little bit, we did finally see another interest rate drop from the Federal Reserve this past quarter. So I think we're starting to see some cool off of all that fear of, wow, I don't have money. And I think a lot of people are finally getting to, even though we've had rampant inflation, wages are catching up. They're getting used to where their wages are now. And we're seeing that kind of happen in our more luxury, as we would classify them, areas, with the building, with the general contractors, with the HVAC, or excuse me, with the house cleaning, interior, exterior, junk removal, landscaping, all of those that are not necessary things to do. So I'm hoping long term we'll start to see that flow through onto our normal trades with HVAC, electrical, and plumbing, and people will start wanting to reinvest more into the house and get into everything. Because all three of those, we've seen people be very stingy on what the costs are because of how much those materials have gone up over the past years. So hopefully this time next year, maybe we'll be a little bit more out of that. That's being kind of wishful thinking, let's be honest. But I do see it being a potential benefit there across the board that we'll just keep our eyes out for. Going into what do we kind of see going on here in Q4? Well, the biggest thing to keep in mind, again, those luxuries, your cleaning, junk removal, anything like that, we're going to see that holiday peak here as we get into November and December. Every single year we see massive peaks with these companies because everyone's getting ready for the in-laws to come over, or everyone's having a Christmas party or something like that. So we see a good bit of stuff kind of going on across the board there that we're going to end up needing to counter over the next few months here. So that'll be really nice for these luxury areas. Plumbing and electrical also generally see a decent uptick in this kind of final quarter area because, again, all of those parties, everyone's realizing, oh, I need to get something fixed to plug my tree in, or I need to do this, or whatever it is. And vice versa, we need to worry about the toilet's not working or the toilet's not flushing or anything there. So definitely see that being all beneficial there going forward. HVAC is going to be super highly dependent on when we get the cold snaps. I know we've been a lot cooler later on, but overall everything's staying fairly comfortable. We're not seeing massive cold temperatures yet. Everyone's kind of sticking in that weird fall range of 40s to 80s degrees. It's not anything where we're seeing 20-degree weather yet. So hopefully we might see that come kind of November, December this year to give HVAC that little boost there, but we'll just have to keep our eyes out with everything. The other final thing that we're going to kind of see going forward here is keep in mind we're coming up on the end of year. We're going to be putting out a bunch of videos here over the next few months talking about what you need to think about for the end of the year, but make sure you're getting that kind of last minute tax planning in this quarter. You really only have that November, December timeframe to do that, so make sure you keep that on your radar and keep everything going on there. The other big trend that we've kind of seen here in Q3 that isn't specific business related, but we have started to see a lot more clients going to using ServiceTitan over other apps because ServiceTitan has changed kind of their sales practices and everything there. It used to be with ServiceTitan, they wanted you to have a set number of trucks, they wanted you to have multiple millions of dollars a year in income, and we're starting to see that that's no longer the case. So we're going to definitely see a transition to a lot more people on ServiceTitan. If that's something that you are considering, I do encourage you to do your due diligence. Make sure you're not just talking with ServiceTitan, but talking with other companies that have used it, talking with other companies that have integrated it with their accounting systems and everything there, because without that, it is going to be a bit problematic. So definitely something to keep in mind as we kind of go forward here, since we are seeing so many people there moving onto that bandwagon. Do want to make sure that you guys are watching and keeping track of the entire situation spectrum there. If you guys are looking at using ServiceTitan or wanting someone to talk to there or even needing help with tax planning, don't hesitate to reach out to us here at Waterford Business Solutions. Give us a call at 864-351-0852 or shoot us an email at info@waterfordbusiness.com and we'd be happy to help you out. Once again, if you want more videos like this, I do encourage you to go ahead and join us. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications to our channel here because we do stuff like this every single Monday. Until next week, guys, you have a wonderful rest of your day.